welcome back. After you've gotten this glued into your journal, I actually want you to get back in your workbook, and turn to page 119 and rip it out. We are actually going to be turning in this page, so you definitely need to make sure that your name and number get on the top. It says, predict the size of the result. The page number is 119. So please pull that out, pause the video until you get it. I'm going to move my journal out of the way, and now we're going to solve some of these problems. I kept out my purple and green, so you need to also get out your purple and green. Remember, purple is division, and green, no, other way around. I'm so sorry. Multiplication was purple, division was green. I better make that key for myself right now at the top of this paper. Multiplication and division. We're only going to be working on page 119. And we're going to be predicting the size of the result, or using our brains to figure out when answers are reasonable. So, decide which operation to use, predict the size of the result, then solve the problem. So, a lot of different things are happening here. We got this. Lucy spends 4 hours a week babysitting. Her sister Lily spends 7/8 as much time babysitting. Does Lily babysit for more or less than 4 hours? So, this is the predicting part. Think about it. Lucy goes 4 hours. Her sister, Lily, does 7/8 as much time. So she's doing a fraction of what Lucy does. So she does a fraction as much as 4. She does a fraction of 4. So we're going to write fraction of. She's doing a fraction of. So, is this going to be division or multiplication? She does a fraction of. It's going to be smaller than 4. So, if you think division, let's try division. So, if you think that you can't figure it out and you think it's division, let's try division. 4 divided by 7/8. To divide by a fraction, here's a tip. Keep, change, flip. So I'm actually going to rewrite that off to the side. So keep, change, flip. That's how you flip 7/8. 7/8 gets flipped to 8/7. That's the reciprocal. So now I multiply. Remember, you throw 1 underneath. This would be 32 over 7. And then I have to fix that. 7 goes into 32 4 times, and there'd be 4 left over. So if it was division, the answer would be that Lily went babysitting for 4 4/7. That doesn't make sense. She's supposed to be going a piece of what Lucy does. So it cannot be division. So does Lily babysit for more or less than 4 hours? Less. It is a fraction of 4. Or like less. We'll put a colon. She goes a fraction of 4. She's going a piece of 4, not a full 4. So it can't be division. Therefore, it is multiplication. Even if you just thought through, and went, well, I think it is multiplication, then you can solve it with multiplication first. But it says now find the amount of time Lily babysits. Some people think, well, the exact time's here because it's multiplication. No. If you originally start the problem with 4 times 7/8, you do not flip anything. Multiplication means you just put a 1 underneath, extend the bar, and multiply straight across. Well, I see relationships. 4 and 8 can both be divided by 4, giving me 1 there and 2 there. So 1 times 7 is 7, and 1 times 2 is 2. How many times will 2 go into 7? 3 times, with 1 left over. Is 3.5 a piece of 4? Yeah. It's not equal to 4. It's a piece of it. It's really close to 4, but isn't 7/8 really close to 1 whole? So she almost went 4, but she went 3.5 hours. Lily babysits for 3.5 hours. That makes sense. Number 2. Oh, it's not number 2. Number 14. I love the name Yoshi. You ever played Mario Kart or Super Mario? All right. Yoshi has a rope 30 feet long. He must cut it into pieces. Cut into pieces. Cut into pieces. I already know that it's division, because I'm cutting into pieces. So he has, also it says that he has 30. So that's what you start with, remember? So he has 30 feet. He's going to cut it into pieces that are tiny. Will he get more or fewer than 30 pieces? Think about it. He's going to divide each foot. Remember, we'd have to draw like 30 cookies or 30 candy bars. Then he's going to divide each one into 1/4. He's going to get a ton of pieces. He will get more. I'm going to say lots more. Now find the exact number of pieces that Yoshi will get. So you start with what he has, which is 30, and I cut up all of those into 4th size pieces. To divide by a fraction, here's a tip. Keep, change, flip. You flip 1/4 by just saying that it's 4. The answer is 120. Yoshi will get 120 pieces. Now, I want you to think about number 15. Carlos can throw a ball 14 yards. His friend Raul can throw 3/7 of that distance. Here we go again. We have 3/7 of, so a fraction of what this kid can do. This is a fraction of. So it's going to be less. Raul's throw will be shorter. It's a fraction of it. You should already know, because we're saying it's 3/7 of it, that it's multiplication. You should know that because you've done multiplication a lot, and if you set it up, it should make sense. 3/7 of 14. How do you multiply if this doesn't have a fraction? You just throw a 1 underneath it. You extend the bar. You look for relationships. The 7 and 14 can both be divided by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 7 divided by 7 is 1. So now I have a 3 times 2 and a 1 times 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. But it just means 6. So what is the exact length of Raul's throw? He can throw 6 yards. Does that make sense? Is 6 a piece of 14? Yeah. In fact, 3/7 is almost half. And isn't 6 almost half of 14? Yeah. We're going to write almost half on this first part. That would have been good for us to indicate. Number 16. An apple orchard covers 12 acres. There is a watering spout for every 1/4 acre. Are there more or fewer than 12 watering spouts? So it's this huge apple orchard, 12 acres. So if I were to draw that, I would draw 12 acres. And every 1/4, there is a watering spout. So if this is 1 acre, every fourth, there's a watering spout. There's one here, 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 and here. And I have 12 more of these. So think about it. I'm taking each acre and I'm splitting it into fourths. So for every, I'm splitting the acres. And to split means to divide. So you have 12, and every 1/4, you're putting something there. So I go 12 divided by 1/4. To divide by a fraction, here's a tip. Keep, change, flip. There will be 48. Oh, I should have answered this, sorry. Are there more or fewer than 12? There's going to have to be more because there's 4 in every single acre. So more. Now find the exact number, 48. What are they called? Watering spouts. Now, let's go back to this and say that I didn't know it was division because there wasn't actually words here that helped me with that. I had to think logically and investigate and come up with my own word. So let's say that I thought it was multiplication. Okay? So 12 multiplied by 1/4. So let's see, does multiplication work? We'll use purple here. We'll go, does multiplication work? So 12 times 1/4. Remember, you throw a 1 under, you extend the bar. 12 times 1 is 12. 1 times 4 is 4, which equals 3. So if I have 12 acres and there's watering spouts in every single acre, there's 4, how could I only get 3 total watering spouts? That wouldn't even cover a whole acre. Not even cover 1 whole acre. That is a big no. It will not work. If you use multiplication, it would not even cover a whole acre. And you have to cover 12 acres. So that's why sometimes drawing a quick model shows how many would be in 1 acre, and you have 12. So that helped me. That helped me know. I'm going to write this right here. 4 in every acre. So it ended up being 12 times 4, right? Which is why division is the inverse of multiplication. So you're going to turn this paper into the math basket after we take a look at the homework and remembering. So if you don't already have a homework and remembering, push pause and go grab it. I'm not going to help you on 1 through 18. You need to know how to do those. It tells you exactly what the operation is. You just have to practice. So make sure when it's multiply, like on number 1, that you throw a 1 underneath the whole number. And this is going to be one of those slopes. And you look for relationships. Oh, the ones cross each other out. So you're left with just a 5/3, and then you have to fix that. 3 goes into 5 once. That would be taking away 3. So the final answer is 1 2/3. So make sure when you multiply, you put a 1 underneath, extend the bar, blah, blah, blah. When you divide, you keep, change, flip. So I want you to write what that looks like. Keep, change, flip. Really easy when you divide. I think dividing is easier. Good luck to you. If it's a whole by whole and it's division, you should know whole by whole. And then you fix it. 10 goes into 27 twice, and there would be 7 left over. It's going to be really fast for you on 1 through 12. But stop and go to numbers 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We're going to quickly make sure we know what the operation is, okay? A dime weighs about a 1/12 ounce. Jody has, oh, I already know. Jody has 1 pound. And each of them weigh this amount. So I use green because it is division. And you would set it off over here. She has 1, and each of them weigh 1/12. That's the equation. Do not solve it. Number 14. Don't solve it yet. Because you're going to have to solve it, then you're going to have to write it in a sentence. Maddie has 180 coins. Of these coins, 1/12 are dimes. Oh. So is this division? She has 120. Of these coins, 1/12 are dimes. Let's say that you thought it was division. Because it has the same phrase. Maddie has. So let's say you thought it was division. How many dimes does she have? So to divide by a fraction, here's a tip. Keep, change, flip. 180 times 12. Wow. Well, it's going to be a really big number. It's going to be a huge number. It's going to be 12 times that amount. And she only has 180 coins total. So how could she have 180 times 12 number of coins. It is not division. The answer here is multiplication because of this word right here, of. You are going to rework that later with multiplication. See? I love when we don't know. We check. Nope, didn't work. Number 15. A rectangle has a length of this and a width of this. What is the area? Oh, goodness. You better know that that's multiply. When you're trying to find the area, you're going to do this times that. Number 16. A rectangle has an area. Ooh, they give you the answer. And then they give you the width. So if you have the answer and one of the pieces, it's not multiply, it is divide. They're asking you for the length. So you take the area divided by the width, and you'll get the length. So if we were to write this out, actually, let's write this one out as an equation. You take the area divided by the width. That will give you the equation. That will give you that. Number 17. Nisha wants to study for 5 hours for the spelling bee. If she studies 1/3 per night, 1/3 hour per night, how many nights will she have to study? So she wants to study for 5. And she's only going to study for 1/3. So she wants 5 total hours. And she's only going to study 1/3 per night. So how many nights will she have to study? Let's say that you think this is division. Let's see if it works out. She has 5, or she wants 5, and she's going to study 1/3 hour per night. To divide by a fraction, here's a tip. Keep, change, flip. 15. Does this make sense? If she studies for 1/3 hour per night, so not even a whole hour, it's going to take her more than 5 days because she's not even studying a whole hour every day. So it's going to be more than 5. And she only studies 1/3 hour per night. So if she studies for 3 nights, it's going to give her 1 hour. So yeah, she would have to study a lot. So if she studied for 15 nights, she would eventually get her 5 hours. So yeah, that does make sense. Let's just prove it though. Let's try the multiplication. When you multiply, so we're trying the multiplication now. When you multiply, you throw 1 underneath, and you just multiply straight across. If you see relationships, you can cross them out. 3 goes into 5 once. How many nights will she have to study? Will she study for 1 2/3 nights? What? That doesn't make sense. You can't study for a 2/3. You're either going to study for a night or you're not. So this one with the multiplication was not reasonable. This one was reasonable. So number 17 is division. All right, take your page 119 to the math basket. Finish the homework side and the remembering side. You do not have to do stretch your thinking. Thanks for joining us for lesson 3.12.